It's here. It's here. So you guys are seeing walls out there, seeing walls pop up. If you're out on the social media sites, you're reading blogs. Most of them are very good. We'll switch those final people over shortly. You might see some celebrities walking around our park. Anyone? Well, I scooped up a couple of them. We got them here. I'm going to introduce them in a second. But things are changing, and this is fantastic. It's an exciting time for us all here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. If you were watching the blogs, if you were looking at our internal social media, you probably saw the groundbreaking for Avatar. How many saw that? And Avatar, for all of you that may not know, this is the top grossing film of all time. So I was speaking with Jon Landau. Jon Landau's here with us today. We're going to bring him out on stage in a second. And I said, so can I say that? Is that still the fact? Is Avatar the #1 grossing film of all time? He said, yeah. Yes. So, Mr. Joe Rohde.
Before you get started, I just want everybody to know I also produce Campus Man. There you go, just want to make perspective.
Very good. What I'm going to ask you guys to do, if you could, is we just saw the groundbreaking moment a second ago. I'd love to hear from both of you on how that felt and what it means. I'd also like to hear a little bit, Joe, maybe from you about your perspective on Avatar and how it fits into the park. And John, you could chime in there as well. And then finally, before we put the film on, John, it'd be great if you could share with our cast and their families here maybe some things to look out for in the film as they might relate back to Disney's Animal Kingdom. So go ahead, why don't you kick off?
Well, first, Josh hit the nail on the head. I am a Disney head. My favorite times of going here, my favorite memories over the past 6 months have been trips down here. But what Josh is also right is what makes it special are the people you interact with. Everybody that I have dealt with here has been phenomenal, and to that I want to say thank you to everybody that's out there. I also want to thank Joe and his incredible team, because they have made us a part of this process. And for Jim and I, it has been a collaboration. We didn't know what it would be like, and they have really opened up their doors, their resources, and let us share our ideas in a collaborative, iterative way. And I think just the same way that we wanted to use technology to break new ground and tell new stories with the movies. That's what Joe and his team are creating here with what they're doing, not just in Pandora, but throughout the park. And I look forward to pressing things, pushing technologies, and really giving guests an unprecedented themed experience, thanks to the collaboration we've had with Joe and his team.
Yeah, for me, the partnership has been extraordinary. I do believe it's probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It is an entire creative organization with its own art directors, with its own storytellers, with its own technicians and engineers, fusing with ours, and the result of that, I think, is going to be very, very exciting. For me, the groundbreaking moment, I like to build things. It's all fine to talk, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, blue sky and pictures and meetings. I want to build stuff. That is what I'm here to do, build things. And so, for me, this is a big moment when this turns really real, and from here on out, which is an incredible slog, we are doing it. We are going to make this happen, which is very exciting. Really intimidating, because it's really technically mind-bogglingly hard to do, but very exciting because we're going to do it now. It's not, we're doing it. So I think that's great. I don't know, do you want me to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it'd be great if you could just kind of share your perspective on, so why Avatar, and how does it fit into the park and attach to that?
Some of you probably heard some of this, but it looks like no more than 10% of what this house holds. I want to be clear, Animal Kingdom, any good story, by the way, not just Animal Kingdom, any good story is about something. Something is underneath the plot. Something is underneath the character, underneath the setting. And that inner value, that inner idea that a story is about That's where the strength of that story comes from. That's why you can listen to a story that unfolds over a long period of time, because you can see this pattern of meaning emerging out of the story, that it means something. An animal kingdom means certain things. The design of Animal Kingdom is very deliberately and very consciously built around a certain set of ideas. And once you start looking at Animal Kingdom with these ideas in mind, it becomes very clear that it is based on these ideas. The first idea, the first theme of Animal Kingdom is this notion of the intrinsic value of nature, the supreme value of nature. The idea that no other value can be held up against nature and trump it. Nature is going to be a more powerful and more valuable value than anything else you see around it. And that's one of the reasons the park is much more landscape-based than architecture-based. That's the reason when a tree falls over in Animal Kingdom, you might just let it lie there and turn back into soil. That's why the park has this sort of unrehearsed quality, why the buildings look like they're crumbling and succumbing to the forces of nature, because we want that sense of the power and primacy of nature to infuse the entire park. So that's one value system. And it goes down to the tiniest little details. Once you just start making comparisons, you can ask yourself, you know, would that thing made of wood? Would that thing be made of stainless steel? And you'll see that these design decisions are down to a very fine gradation. The second value system is this notion of transformation through adventure. The idea that if you go somewhere you've never been before, try something you've never done before, see something you've never seen before, that experience alone makes you a new person. You're transformed. If you go out and seek adventure, adventure itself will change you and you will be transformed. And the park has that adventure motif. We have stories that are unreconciled. We have, you know, you go out on the safari, something new happens every single day, which I love. And so we want, and it's part of the reason why the park has that look. Big chunks of the park have that look that kind of looks like nobody's in charge, like nobody's taking care of it, because that's adventure too. So that's another theme. And then the third theme is this sense of a personal call to action. Most of the stories that happen at Animal Kingdom are about you. It's about you. It's happening to you. We don't tell a lot of stories that are stories about some beloved or non-beloved third person and what happened to them. Our stories are about you and what's happening to you, and we believe that if you put these three together, you come to a place that is built about the supreme value of nature, in which you undergo a transformation because you set forth on adventure. When you receive a call to action, you will act on behalf of nature, since it is a supreme value. So it is kind of a big construction. Now, tonight you're going to watch Avatar. In a second, I'll turn it over to John to talk more about that. But when you watch this film, I want you to think about these three values as you watch that story unfold. The intrinsic value of nature, the idea that nature is a greater value than any value you can hold up against it. Transformation through adventure, the idea that if you go out and engage that which you do not know, you will be transformed and made better, and a personal call to action. And I think you'll see that the underlying value of this film sits squarely on top of the values of Animal Kingdom, and is not just kind of a nice fit, but actually an extraordinarily smooth and very clear and vivid expression of the underlying value systems of the park. And I won't go on at more length than that. This is an extraordinary opportunity coming at us very quickly for us to take the core ideas of this park and express them to the country and the world in an illustration through Avatar that is so incredibly vivid that it will bring added value to the entire place.
For me and Jim, when we first started talking to Bob and Tom and discussions about doing this, we didn't know what land, what park we would end up in. And we could have ended up in the Hollywood studios, we could have ended up somewhere else, but they made a conscious decision to put us here at Animal Kingdom. And I am so thrilled by that, because I think together we're going to create something that is going to be remarkable. I think it's going to be an awakening for people to realize the what it already exists here. And I think we're going to give an opportunity for new people to come and see things. If you really think about it, to me, Avatar is not coming here. Pandora is coming here. We are going to give people an opportunity to go to Pandora, to experience. And that's what we found when people came out of the movie. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to go back to Pandora. They wanted to experience it again. So we're going to be able to do that through our Banshee flying ride. We're going to be able to do that by taking people deeper into the rainforest and seeing the bioluminescence day or night. We're going to be able to do that because the land itself is truly an attraction. It's going to be interactive. It's going to give people the opportunity to feel like they are truly in another world. And that is all thanks to the people at Imagineering and Josh and the team here saying, yes, we're embracing this idea and we want to support that. In Avatar, the movie opens and closes, you'll see it tonight, with Jake's eyes opening. And I view the movie as a challenge to people to open their eyes and to see that they have an impact on others around them and the world around them. And I think that when we do this together, we're going to cause people, once again, to open their eyes and realize that they can make a difference in the world. And I'm thrilled to be a part of that.
One other thing that you will see in the film, and I think it's a role that all of you play in this, and it's a very important role. This also is a film about the discovery and inclusion of a community. I mean, you just watch. There's an arc here of a character who starts out extraordinarily alone, deprived of family, deprived of communication, and who finds a community and becomes part of something. All of that is the job of you who actually relate to the guests who come in the door. The community, we build stuff. We build stuff in the end. We build plastic things and concrete things and things made of steel and stuff that you plug in and it does stuff. The life of this place, and this is why I like Animal Kingdom, is really the, frankly, only partially controlled natural behavior of the inhabitants of the park, some of whom are animals, and the rest of whom are all of you. And I like it like that. So I'm hoping that you also pay attention to this idea of inclusion, of community, of being welcomed and embraced and taken in, because that's really the job we want to do when this thing opens, is to make people feel that they have been honestly and sincerely welcomed and taken in by us into a world that is valid, that is believable and valid, and that has a value that they can depend on and feel is real.
To that end, I encourage all of you in the months, years leading up to the opening of the park, do whatever you can to learn about, an indigenous culture somewhere where strangers might go. Rainforest, what does it really mean to be a part of a rainforest? Learn all the things and apply that when you interact with the guests. I'll tell you, with our cast, because again, movies are not about technology, movies are not about environments, movies are about the close-up. And that's our cast. And we took our cast into the rainforest as part of a rehearsal process. I wanted to share a funny story with you, because we thought it was important for them to have that experience, to know what it really felt like. The first day we were going out into the rainforest, we came across a clear-cutting operation. And we just sat there and we watched it. And we went up to the people driving the tractors that were plowing down these trees, why they were doing it. They couldn't tell us. They didn't know. They were just hired to do it. That had a profound impact on all of us as we went through the rest of the days of the rehearsals. On our last day, though, in the rainforest, we were out there, and Sam Worthington, played Jake in the movie, he was out there. We had him dressed in a little loincloth, a really bad wig, a rubber bow in his hand, and Jim Cameron was off to the side with a little video camera, with a little Sony Handycam filming it. And sure enough, there's a guy out there walking his dog. The guy looks at Sam in this outfit and goes, "What are you doing?" Sam proudly says, "We're making a movie, mate." The guy goes, "We're making a movie?" Sam goes, goes, yeah, you see that guy over there? He points to Jim. He goes, that's Jim Cameron. He made Titanic. The guy goes, boy, he's gone downhill. But I can't tell you, though, when we went through the process of making the movie, where we did the performance capture on our stage, and we didn't have any of the rainforest with us, how important those days were, where we immersed our cast in that environment. So I just keep that in mind as we move forward.
Thank you. All right, thank you guys both. Guys, we're gonna